When Shu Kai was spotted boarding a red-eye flight at Beijing Capital International Airport in the middle of the night, dressed in all black and flanked by only one personal assistant, fans assumed it was just another fashion-related trip or a quick shoot abroad. But the speed, the secrecy, and most importantly, the lack of official explanation ignited a media wildfire. Why Paris? Why now? And why alone? By the time the sun rose over the Seine, Shu Kai had already been photographed arriving at Le Muris Hotel in the heart of Paris. But what really stunned netizens wasn't his arrival, it was what happened just 48 hours later that broke the internet. At first, he kept an extremely low profile. No stories on Instagram. No posts on Weibo. He didn't even attend the Dior private dinner he was rumored to be invited to. Instead, he was seen pacing around the Tuileries Gardens, visibly lost in thought, earphones in, seemingly detached from the world. Something was eating at him, something deeper than jet lag. Then came the photo that lit social media on fire. A blurry image surfaced on Zhirouhongshu, Shu Kai standing across the street from a cozy Parisian café in the Marais district, staring inside. The photo wouldn't have made waves if not for one jaw-dropping detail. Tan Songyun was inside that very café, laughing with an unknown man, completely unaware she was being watched. The two stars had been previously linked romantically in secret fan forums, though both denied ever being anything more than co-stars. But after filming their hit drama together, behind-the-scenes footage showed stolen glances, soft smiles, and the kind of chemistry that couldn't be faked. Rumors simmered. Then everything went silent. Now, months later, Shu Kai was in Paris. And so was she. Some sources whispered that Tan Songyun had flown to Paris 2 days before him for a private retreat. But Shu Kai's arrival was unannounced. Could it have been a coincidence? Fans didn't think so. The timing, the location, the lingering stare from across the street, it felt like something out of a romance film. Only this time, it was real life. The paparazzi caught more. The next evening, Shu Kai was seen standing at Pont Alexandre III, the iconic bridge from countless romantic movies, holding a single white rose. He waited. For almost an hour. Tourists passed. A street musician played a soft rendition of La Vie en Rose. Still, he waited. And then she appeared. Tan Songyun, wearing a beige trench coat, emerged from the shadows. Their eyes locked. No words were exchanged at first, just a silence so powerful it seemed to echo louder than any scream. Then she stepped closer. Shu Kai handed her the rose, and she took it gently, eyes watering. They talked, softly, passionately. A few heated gestures. She turned away at one point. He followed. She almost walked off, but he caught her wrist. It wasn't aggressive. It was desperate. And then, she leaned in. Not a kiss. But a long, forehead-to-forehead moment that said more than words ever could. Two hearts trying to speak after months of silence. So what had driven Shu Kai to Paris? Was it guilt? Regret? Or the hope of a second chance? Insiders say the fallout between them months ago had been bitter. According to one close source, Shu Kai had distanced himself after a major career offer from an international production company. He thought the relationship would be a distraction, the source said. He was wrong. And by the time he realized it, she was gone. Others claim it was more complicated. That someone in Shu Kai's management team had deliberately interfered in the relationship, advising him to focus on global exposure and avoid romantic distractions. It's no secret that international fame can be a cold battlefield, and some believe Shu Kai had been pushed to sacrifice love for status. But something changed. Perhaps it was the loneliness of hotel rooms in different cities, the soulless parties, the red carpets that felt more like cages. Or perhaps it was seeing her face on a billboard one day and realizing how empty his success felt without her. Whatever it was, it brought him to Paris. And what happened next only added more fuel to the fire. The following day, both Shu Kai and Tan Songyun disappeared. Not a single sighting. Not a single social media trace. Their teams offered no comments. But a curious little video surfaced on TikTok that same evening, a couple, faces partially obscured by scarves and sunglasses, holding hands on a river cruise along the Seine. The man's wristwatch. A limited edition Cartier model Shu Kai was known to own. The woman's necklace? A simple jade pendant Tan Songyun had worn during press tours. The internet exploded. #Shu Kai in Paris and #Tan Songyun together again trended within hours across platforms in China and beyond. Fans weren't just celebrating, they were speculating. Were they back together? Was this a secret reconciliation trip? Was Shu Kai planning to make a grand gesture, perhaps even propose? And then came the letter. On the third day of Shu Kai's Paris stay, a mysterious envelope was slid under the door of a popular Chinese entertainment journalist staying at the same hotel. Inside was a handwritten note, unsigned, but undeniably Shu Kai's writing style. The message: "Sometimes we chase stars, thinking they will light our path. But the brightest light I've ever known was standing right beside me, all along. I ran toward success, but now I realize I was running away from home." The journalist shared the note online, protecting the source but hinting strongly at its authenticity. Fans were floored. It was heartbreakingly poetic. Raw. Honest. And then, silence. Shu Kai and Tan Songyun both returned to China the next week. Separate flights. No photos. No public statements. But something was different. Shu Kai cancelled 2 international brand events. He was seen back in Beijing, alone, visiting a quiet bookstore where he and Tan Songyun had once been photographed during their drama promotion days. And then, without warning, he posted a picture on Instagram. Just a white rose lying on a windowsill. No caption. No tags. Just that. Moments later, Tan Songyun posted a photo of her coffee mug with the Eiffel Tower faintly reflected in the surface of the coffee. Again, no caption. To fans, it was confirmation. Quiet. Personal. Real. Whether they've decided to keep things private, rebuild slowly, or simply preserve the sanctity of what they rediscovered in Paris, one thing is clear: Shu Kai wasn't just running to Paris for a trip. He was running toward someone. Someone he never truly let go of. And that kind of love, the kind worth flying across continents for, the kind that makes you stand on bridges with roses and wait for a maybe, that's the kind fans will never stop believing in. Whether or not they confirm it publicly, the story has already been written in the hearts of those who watched it unfold in real time. Shu Kai's sudden trip to Paris wasn't just a journey, it was a confession, a longing, and perhaps, a new beginning. Just when the headlines began to cool down, and gossip channels tried to move on, a new wave of shocking details about Shu Kai's mysterious Paris getaway came crashing into this time, even more intense, more intimate, and more revealing. Because what started as a quiet trip to the city of love may have actually been a desperate mission to fix a broken promise. In the days leading up to his trip, Shu Kai was reportedly seen in a noticeably erratic state, cancelling meetings, ignoring script readings, and even showing up late to a major CF shoot. Sources close to the actor revealed that he had received an anonymous envelope that left him shaken for hours. No one knew what was inside. No one dared to ask. But after reading it, Shu Kai locked himself in his dressing room for almost 2 hours, emerging only to whisper 5 words to his assistant: "Book the next flight out." It wasn't until he boarded the midnight flight that his destination was revealed: Paris. And once he landed, his actions were anything but casual. His first stop wasn't the hotel. It wasn't a fancy brand showroom. It wasn't even a tourist location. It was a small, ivy-covered building tucked in a quiet alley of Montmartre, a place known only to a few. Locals call it Maison des Souvenirs, the House of Memories. There, Shu Kai was seen talking to a woman in her 70s. Not just talking, pleading. Witnesses say he looked on the verge of tears, showing her something on his phone. Others claim he handed her a silver ring. That same woman would later tell a local blogger. He asked if she'd been here. If a young woman had left something behind. Something about a message he never got. Something about a goodbye that was never meant to be final. Who was she? All signs pointed to Tan Songyun. Apparently, just weeks before Shu Kai's trip, Tan had stayed in that very house as part of a solo artist residency, unannounced, off the grid, and intensely private. The trip hadn't been for vacation. It had been an escape, a chance to write, paint, and perhaps heal. But why was Shu Kai so desperate to trace her steps? Later that afternoon, Shu Kai was spotted wandering the streets of Le Marais, stopping at every single café along Rue Ville du Temple, asking waiters and baristas something quietly, urgently. At one small café, the manager later revealed that Shu Kai had shown him a photo of Tan Songyun Yun and asked, "Did she leave a letter here? A note? Anything?" What was he looking for? That night, the story took another wild turn. A leaked CCTV clip from a high-end perfume boutique in Paris captured Shu Kai standing inside, inhaling the scent of a particular fragrance, one he reportedly bought in a rush, paying in cash. But what caught attention was what he mumbled just before leaving. "She wore this in Chengdu. Before everything changed." It was clear now, this wasn't a random trip. Shu Kai wasn't sightseeing. He wasn't even working. He was on a memory hunt, retracing every step, scent, and scene connected to Tan Songyun, trying to understand what he'd missed. What he'd lost. And then came the encounter at the cafe. The moment he saw her across the glass, Tan Songyun, laughing softly with another man, his entire body froze. He didn't barge in. He didn't call her name. He just watched. For 7 full minutes, he stood motionless, holding his phone tightly, a note already typed out. But he never sent it. Instead, he deleted it, turned around, and walked straight to the Pont Alexandre 3. That bridge wasn't just a symbol of love in cinema, it had meaning for them. During the press tour of their drama, they had once joked about visiting Paris together when the cameras stop and the noise fades. She had said, "When I see you on that bridge with a white rose, I'll know." And now, he was there. Waiting. With the rose. When she finally showed up alone, there were no flashing cameras. No paparazzi. Just them. And time, finally slowing down. Eyewitnesses who watched from afar described the scene as something straight out of a movie. He looked broken. She looked conflicted. But when she took the rose, it was like the world melted. No one dared interrupt. It wasn't a moment, it was a reunion. Insiders close to Tan Songyun later hinted that she hadn't planned to see him. That a mutual friend had tipped her off about Shu Kai being in Paris. That she'd gone to the bridge to confront him, not expecting to forgive. But what happened after shocked everyone. At around 3 a.m., Shu Kai's assistant was seen checking out of the hotel alone. Shu Kai had vanished. And so had Tan Songyun. For 2 full days, there were no sightings. No activity. Just whispers. Then came a subtle clue. Tan Songyun's stylist posted a photo on her Instagram story showing a small countryside home outside Paris, with a caption that read, "Sometimes the quiet holds the loudest conversations." Was this where they went? Did they leave the city to rediscover what had been broken? Fans believe so. And the next update only confirmed it. Days later, as Shu Kai returned to China, paparazzi tried to bombard him at the airport. But he didn't run. He didn't hide. He stopped, removed his mask, and gave a simple answer when asked if his Paris trip had been for work. He smiled and said, "No. It was for the heart." That was it. No denial. No over-explanation. Just the truth. And in a rare, emotionally raw moment, Tan Songyun liked a fan-edited video titled When He Ran Back for Her that showed their bridge moment in slow motion, overlaid with their past interview clips and the Eiffel Tower glittering in the background. That single sent fans into meltdown. She didn't have to say anything more. Whether Shu Kai and Tan Songyun are officially back together, no one knows for sure. But what is undeniable is this: Shu Kai's trip to Paris was not an escape. It was a pursuit. A bold, vulnerable chase after the one person who truly saw him not as a celebrity, but as a man trying not to lose the woman he never stopped loving. This wasn't a drama. This was real life, and Paris became their stage. If you're as captivated as we are by Shu Kai's heartfelt Paris mission, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow fans, and drop a comment below. Do you think Shu Kai and Tan Songyun are giving their love a second chance? Subscribe to our channel for more shocking celebrity love stories, dramatic reunions, and behind-the-scenes confessions that'll keep you hooked.